Today, we are diving deep into the work of physicist David Bohm. And trust me, his ideas might just change how you see, well, everything. What if the universe isn't made of a bunch of separate things at all, but is one single flowing whole? And what if all the chaos we see in the world is really just a symptom of us not seeing that wholeness? Let's get into it. So where does Bohm start this journey? You might think it's with some heavy quantum physics, but nope. He starts by looking around at the modern world. And he puts his finger on a core problem that he believes is the root of almost all our troubles: fragmentation. Now, he wrote this back in 1980, but doesn't it just hit home today? It's like he saw the future. He saw how we break everything up into little pieces: countries, religions, different fields of science, even our own minds into a mess of conflicting wants and fears. And he argued, this isn't just a harmless way of organizing the world. It's a deep confusion that's actually creating the problems we're trying to solve.
I mean, look at this list. You could have written it this morning. Bohm's big idea here is that these aren't a bunch of separate crises. They're all symptoms of the same illness. We see the world as a collection of disconnected parts, so naturally we act in a way that just creates more conflict and more disorder.
Okay, so if fragmentation is the symptom, what's the disease? Where does this habit of ours, this tendency to break everything apart, actually come from? And this is the million-dollar question, isn't it? Maybe we're just seeing things as they really are. Is it possible that reality itself is just fundamentally broken into a zillion different pieces? And here's where Bohm just flips the whole script. His answer is a clear and simple no. Reality isn't broken. The fragmentation isn't out there in the world. It's in here. It's a direct result of how we've been taught to think.
So let's look at these two views side by side. On the left, that's our default setting, right? We see a world of separate things. Our very language, subject, verb, object, is constantly chopping reality up. But Bohm's view, on the right, suggests something totally different, that reality is an undivided, flowing whole, and all the things we see are just temporary patterns, kind of like whirlpools that form for a bit in a river and then disappear back into it.
So how can our thoughts have such a huge effect? Well, Bohm points to the word theory itself. It comes from the same Greek root as theater. It means a way of seeing, a way of looking. A theory isn't reality. It's the lens you're looking through. So if your lens is designed to see only fragments, guess what you're going to see? A fragmented world. All right, I get it. This idea of an unbroken flowing movement can sound pretty abstract, pretty out there. How are we supposed to even picture that? Luckily, Bohm came up with an absolutely brilliant analogy to make it all click. He asks us to imagine a pretty simple device, a little experiment that perfectly shows these two different layers of reality he's talking about. Okay, let's walk through this. Imagine you drop a single speck of ink into a jar of thick, clear glycerin. It's a distinct little dot, right? Now you slowly start to turn the cylinder. The ink droplet gets stretched out into a long, thin thread until it vanishes. It's completely gone, but it's not really gone. Its order is now enfolded into the whole system. Now for the magic trick. You slowly turn the cylinder the other way, and the ink retraces its path, and poof, the single droplet reappears as if from thin air. So that invisible, smeared-out state? That's what Bohm calls the implicate order. It's the deep, unseen reality where everything is fundamentally connected. The ink drop isn't destroyed, its information is just spread throughout the whole. And the visible droplet that pops back into existence? That's the explicate order. That's our everyday world, the world of separate objects, people, and places that we can see and touch. Bohm is saying our entire tangible reality is just an unfolding from this much deeper implicate level. So that's our really cool experiment. But so what? What does a drop of ink in glycerin have to do with us and our reality? Well, this is where it gets really interesting. See, Bohm isn't just saying this is a neat trick, he's proposing that reality itself actually works this way. That our whole universe, every galaxy, every planet, you and me, is constantly unfolding from this deeper order and then infolding right back into it. The implications are just huge. Think about it. In quantum physics, it could explain how two particles can be connected over vast distances, because they're not truly separate. What we think of as solid matter, it's just a stable pattern being constantly refreshed from the whole. It even applies to consciousness, to life itself. We're not separate beings. We're part of this constant universal dance of enfolding and unfolding. And this quote just sums it all up perfectly.
He's asking us to make a fundamental shift from seeing a world of static, separate things to seeing a reality of undivided, dynamic process. Now, all of this is mind-bending stuff for sure, but here's where Bohm really brings it all home. He brings this giant, cosmic idea right back to where we started, inside our own heads. Here it is, the punchline. Our own thinking, the way it analyzes, categorizes, and breaks everything down, is the very thing that creates the illusion of a fragmented world. It projects the explicate order of separate things and hides the deeper, implicate reality. We are active participants in creating the very reality we experience. Bohm really lays it out here. Your worldview isn't just some passive philosophy you hold, it's the active software your mind is running. If you believe the world is made of fragments, your mind will operate by making more fragments. It's a feedback loop.
So what can we do? Well, Bohm says the real work isn't about memorizing his theories. The real work is to start paying attention, to develop a real moment-to-moment awareness of our own thoughts, and to catch ourselves in the act of constantly chopping up a whole reality into little bits. Which leaves us with one last, really big question to chew on. If our fragmented way of thinking plays a part in creating so many problems, both for us and for the world, what new things become possible when we start to see and live from this deeper place of wholeness? What happens when you change your thought?